Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. You're watching Open. Our next guest is a U.S. military veteran who fought the Vietnam War. He joins us to speak about his nonprofit organization, Help Is on the Way 2024 Corp, and highlight the work that he is doing to offer services to vets and their families in the Bronx. So please welcome to the show, Johnnie H. Williams Jr. Johnny, welcome to the show.
How are you, sir? Good to meet you also.
Nice to meet you too. Johnny, we gotta tell you, you've probably heard it time and time again, but thank you for your service.
I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it. And the love that we share with each other helps us to move forward. And the hardest problem is moving forward. So the love does help.
Yes. And love, you know, who distributes that ultimate love, it's the man above. And I know you speak to him often, and he's letting you know what he needs you to do, and you're a great conduit for the Lord. And we thank you once again for your service. Can you tell us about yourself and what was life like, both in the military and after your service was complete, which is really never complete because you got right back into helping others get what they need out of life. But you can explain that.
Yes, my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, they were all military. And they call us military brats, so to speak. But, you know, military brat is a good cause because you learn when it happens to you.
Yeah.
I went to Fort Jackson, and the craziest thing happened to me at Fort Jackson. And then
South Carolina. All right.
South Carolina, believe me, there were so many things that happened that you would never expect. I'm from New York. When I went down to South Carolina and I seen how the people were in my face and doing things, and I said, this can't be real. This can't be real. But you know what? You was in the military. It was a completely different type of thing that just came in front of you.
Yeah.
Where you might have thought you were super bad, Uncle Sam was super badder. And you know what I'm saying? And the thing about the military, you end up going places and you end up doing things. We was on Tank Hill where there was a bunch of tents, and you had to put your wood into the furnace to warm yourself. We didn't live in buildings, we lived in tents.
Yeah.
But all that was the knowledge of you learning what to do in your life. Uncle Sam is super bad, I'm telling you that. And it's not just the veterans. There's a lot of people that are doctors, nurses, firemen, EMS, you know, your uncles, your aunts, your nieces, your nephews that do something special in their life. And you got to think of themselves, you got to think of them and not just you yourself.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I got to Germany. I ended up in Beer Fest. I was drinking beer like every day of the week. You know, now I'm clean and sober because what else can I drink? And then I ended up, from there, I ended up going to Vietnam. And that was a complete trip. I don't care whether you went to Nam or whether you was on a base, whatever it is that you're going through, hell is hell. There's no such thing as one person having more hell than the other, because a lot of people just don't know that.
That was hell on
the thing about it, my book is called Suicide Stop Now. Excuse me, sir?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, no, I said that was hell on earth for you.
Yes, it was, because you're not gonna believe it, Spike Lee made a movie called D5 Blood. And when the movie came out, I was in the audience and they asked me to stand up and tell me why I would not make the movie called The Lawnmower. My job was to bring people back out of the trouble that they were in. And yes, I was a lawnmower. And I wasn't cutting grass, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And my job was to go in and rescue people and bring those people back home. And this was like a everyday type of thing. Uncle Sam taught you stuff that you wouldn't even believe. We had to jump in mud water before we got on the helicopter.
You weren't
so
cutting
we wouldn't
grass.
have no smell.
You weren't cutting grass, but you cut what rhymes with that.
Yes, the same thing. You're right. And the thing about it, you had to learn to stand tall. The person's here 1 minute, the next minute the person's gone. And this was the way it was. And it's not just veterans. You gotta understand this happens to many different people in many ways, shape, and form. So if you stop always thinking about yourself and think about many others, now you can see the bigger picture of how the hell people are going through every day of the week.
Let me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you a quick question about the assault weapons that we have on our streets. What do you think about that? And what can we do to try to head that off?
The assault weapons should not be on the street for any reason, because like I heard a person say in the news yesterday, why do you have to shoot so many bullets into a crowd of people? It doesn't make sense at all. What we went through, there was a reason we had to go through that. But there was times when you didn't know who you may be shooting until you seen afterward. And a lot of times you cried from what you saw, what you did. Those assault weapons should not be on the street at all for no reason. No reason to have it like that. You know, and it's the thing about it. If you look at me, I'm the one who my Father in heaven makes the example of. I've been married 3 times.
Yeah.
And you say, why were you married 3 times? Because nobody could keep living with the man that's screaming and hollering every night of the week. It wasn't that you was a bad person, but the only thing you did was scream and holler. And a person can only go up with that for so long a time. There are some men and women that have been together forever. I am so proud of them. But both of them have PTSD.
Yes.
Post-traumatic stress disorder is not good for anyone, whether you're a doctor or nurse.
But what is this? One of the things that inspired you to create your organization, Help Is on the Way, Veterans 1024 Corps?
Yes. What happened with that? I got this problem in my head that the brain just does not stop. And every time I'm doing something, I have to do something more to help everyone. And I started coming out with Help Is on the Way, Help Is on the Way, Help Is on the Way. Next thing you know, the model Help Us on the Way comes out. Now the website Help Us on the Way for Veteran 1024 CORP comes out. Then not only that, whatever the person, whether you're a doctor, a nurse, or a Boy Scout is looking for, under that name, you can find what you're looking for. And there's no way in heck that the person doesn't come back with a smile on their face. Do you know when a person called me last night, they were crying, and I told the person after they started laughing, you know what you just did? And the lady said, what? I said, you just stood tall, smiled, laughed a little more, get your benefits. But if you do not stand up with the problem that you have in, how can you solve that problem? And what people don't know, and they always hear, our Father in heaven gave each and every one of us something special. It's right in front of the person, but they won't look.
Yeah.
The crazy stuff I do, this is nothing. Right now, I'm also the commander of the DAV Chapter 23. Not that I want to be, but you know something? I'm in the best place to help people on the planet.
Who are some of the people that are helping you out?
Oh, yeah. So
other veterans, other corporations?
Well, I have a sponsorship. I have like the Jeep Cherokee people. For anyone who wants a Jeep, I have that. I have Terry Ham for people who want to buy houses.
Oh, yeah.
I have the gentleman for, in case you want child support, I have that. And most people think that if this person's the only one who can get child support, that is not true. It works both ways. And then when you go to my website, you see my white car. I have an orange Easy Pass, not a white Easy Pass. I have the 199 infantry instead of just a regular New York State license. All these things is what you can also have once you look in it. And most people go to Google instead of going to va.gov. Now, when you go to va.gov, you find the federal government and you can ask all the questions on the world that you can. I'm a disabled veteran. Yes, I'm 100%. But do you think I want to stay home and sit in my house every day of the week? No. You're not going to find me back there in the bed where somebody had to throw the cover on me.
Yeah.
Right now, we have a thing called the Service Disabled Small Owned Business, where the disabled veteran, just like you, sir, can now open a business.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, how has writing your books and doing the things that you do help you? Was it therapeutic for you? Because I know you said you're living with people who heard you scream every day. Are the things that you're doing today helping you therapeutically with your everyday life?
Yes, because the person that's going through whatever they're going through, they have to take a little break and talk to their Father in heaven as I do. Because I can tell you one time when I stepped down the gas pedal, and when the car finally stopped, it stopped at 145 miles an hour.
Ooh.
And there was the trunk in the front seat. There was the motor in the front seat, and the car was spinning upside down. What happened? I ended up getting another car the next day. When
Wow.
you work for him, when you work for our Father in heaven, he's showing you how to open the door. Don't you know that the door is open, but you have to look in the direction? This book, that Suicide Stopping Now, okay, this is one hell of a book for everyone to read. But guess what? When you read this book that says, "Who am I?" it shows you the superstar. Yes, it shows you the superstar that you are. Who am I? You see, no matter what problems there are, you can talk about the problems you have, and now you can find out who you are. And if you think that's the biggest thing on the planet, it's not, because guess what just happened? This is called coming out of the darkness.
Yeah.
Now, how am I writing book after book after book? It ain't me, it's my Father in heaven who puts me out here to show the people how the problems could be changed. I learned that you are never alone. And one more secret also. Do you know your little niece, your little nephew, your little cousin that makes you smile every day of the week?
Yeah.
When you see that person, you have got to hug that person. You have to.
Hey, Johnny.
It's a miracle.
They're going to give me a hard rap. What's your website so we can find out more about you?
Yes, my website is www.helpisontheway4, which is FOR, veterans.net. My email, just in case you want the email, everybody has it anyway. The email is Johnnie H, JOHNNIEH, at mind, MIND, spring, SPRING.com.
Johnny, thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for your service on and off the field.
Yes, sir. And like I said, they can go online to Amazon for all these things.
Thank you once again for your service.
Sir.
Give me a hard wrap. I've got to go. I got one more guest. Johnny Williams, U.S. military veteran and founder. Help is on the way for Veterans Corp. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My man Bobby C is up next. He has the latest in the world of sports coming up on Open.